Hello everyone, welcome. We're going to play the Stanley Parable. I haven't played it before, so... Oh, I made a boo-boo. The current time is... 3 p.m. 2 minutes. Confirm. Let's see. Language, English. Recital, on. Might come in handy. Crouch, pause, interact, move. Okay, so apparently we don't have a lot of things to do
This
during
is
the
the
game.
story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy.
Good for Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh. Can I interact with anything? Maybe the red button? No. This seems to be open. I don't think I can interact with anything yet, but I stepped out of the office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It seems like everyone just...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Got up and left. The papers are still in the printer, the copy machine. Let's just go to the meeting room then. I can't interact with anything yet. Is that a meeting room? This is an office. There, that someone just got up and left mid-game. Someone was working here on the ceiling. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Door on the left. Am I going to use the door on the left?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes, let's go to the... So, they spilled their drink, so... There has to be a reason why people just sprung up and left.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I can't really make out what...
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room
you
so
don't have to be
captivating
so sarcastic,
that
mate.
even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these, but eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his left.
First open door on my left. There. Is there... I will take the first open door on the left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh! The first thing I could interact with, but... Okay.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Left? There... Well, there's only one.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Your mistake?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh. There is a truck. The lights are still on. There's some kind of generator. What?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oh, I spoiled the game. Okay, let's
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's find the story. Okay. So, apparently, I'm still going to this part. This was... Oh, it's different now. He opened all the doors.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, are we going to restart
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, Stanley. Okay, so now there are no doors.
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
It's it is a mystery. Access. Oh, I turned the computer off. I turned another computer off. What does it mean? Wasn't there a copier?
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Oh.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. Now I'm confused.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. No, I don't feel right about this.
I'm in a really confusing
you didn't put in
game.
any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I'm playing Stanley's
All right, I've got
Parable
a solution.
Adventure.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure line.
It's
just follow the line.
pretty confusing.
How simple
How
is
are you
that?
doing? This wasn't the way I had to look before. Let's follow the line this time. I didn't follow the instructions before, and then they
the story is. It's over in this
the
direction. Onward,
game
Stanley,
got really
to
confusing.
destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
The storyteller is
I think what we need right now is a bit of music
also
to lighten
confusing.
the mood.
Let's just follow the line. That's pretty loud. Oh, the door closed behind me. Oh, what's going on? I think I teleported.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Apparently, this plant is going to be important for the story. So let's remember that.
Wait, we're back at the office? No, No, line. You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay, this was the line I was supposed to follow, I think. Let's, No, I'm back.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how
This-
could you have done this to us?
This is
And after
when the
we
game got
trusted you,
weird, when I
after
came in here.
everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh, have a bath, mate. I'll see you later. Good to have seen you.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Thanks.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What direction? Oh, that direction. Take care. Have a good one.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
This is, we're walking in circles
Use your
now.
imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again.
Oh, the line's
Stanley,
back.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I can't. I cannot not follow the line. Okay.
Ah, a choice.
This
we
is new.
get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Walk in circles.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley.
Okay.
Our destiny awaits.
I don't see the.
Oh, hold on, what's this?
Third restart.
The confusion ending.
8
You're
restart. The
telling me
narrator is gone.
That's what this is?
Stanley
It's all one
dies.
giant ending? And we're supposed
There's
to restart
no
the game
longer-
eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I
Find the
restart
confusing
again. And what,
ending.
am I just supposed to
There
forget?
restarts again.
Well, what if I
and
don't
then
want to
it
forget?
forgets.
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
Anywhere,
Wall.
anything. The game restarts
Well,
on its
Who
own.
consulted me?
Find
Why
the
don't
line
I
again.
get to
Begin following
decide?
the line. Find
Why don't
identical
I get a
record,
say in all of
without
this?
to
Is it
deteriorate.
really? No, it
There's
can't
no
be.
longer an office.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
So I've been playing for
guess
more
now we
than
just wait.
80
You know,
minutes.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
I think he was cut off. There is no
all of his
narrator.
co-workers were gone.
Oh,
what
he
could
forgot.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
On the
he
left.
entered the door on his left.
The meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Dispute with a coworker. Okay. Broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh. This is way nicer. Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
No
What he could
computer
not
for the
have known
boss.
was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
He
so
was
the
here
boss
with
had
2 other
assigned it
people.
an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. Oh. This is becoming weird. I'm getting creeped out. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Oh, I'm still going down. So we're still going to...
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not
this
go
is
unanswered
a
for long.
different exit. Oh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Or do I go to the mind control facility, or do I escape? Oh no. I think I made the wrong choice.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can I go back? Or is it closed? Ah, it's closed. Okay, so I do have to find out. So now we're in the television room again. And we'll find out. Okay. Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I was 427. Yeah, that's my office. Okay. Let's find out. Let's find out.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Apparently it was.
No.
Let's go in the
He
ambulance.
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, I'm going to destroy it. But how? What is this? What a weird little space. Okay, so probably have to go to facility power, mind controls, awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay. Okay, so I turned it off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
When it opened,
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
okay, so oh, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
What? Oh. This is weird. I'm pretty creeped out by the game, but
and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Hasn't.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Oh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Okay.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay. Um,
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
it doesn't move.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go.
Oh.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
There's
I have to
looks
say,
different.
initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the
Okay,
content,
so
Stanley.
It looks different.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
This is the Ultra Deluxe. Ah. This jumping is the extra content. Oh no. I depleted the extra content.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Oh,
Stanley, I
does
have to
go up.
say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Still got the creepy feeling.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Restart again. Oh man. It looks different again. There's supposed to be officers over here. Oh, hello, viewer.
Psst. Stanley!
Are we...
Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
What is in the vent? What? This game is... Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
it's an
our
Easter
little
egg.
secret. Take a look.
Oh? It looks fun, but...
I call it
How long
the
will it last?
memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Is the burn
Experiences
still
like the launch of the Stanley
around?
Parable on PC.
Okay. How How
You
long
see,
is
Stanley,
it gonna
doesn't the memory
take
zone
before it's gonna
remind you
reset
of how
again?
wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember
Oh.
back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
Okay.
Oh, the waste.
It's clearly they're attacking the gaming industry as it is of today.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning
10
triumph
out
of
of 10.
games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
Interaction
James
award.
Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay. So, okay. Am I going down or going up? The door seems to be closed downstairs, but memory zone maintenance. Okay, so we have to go up. The original remake. Okay.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
That seems to be how a lot of games...
These were simpler times, Stanley.
We have to go into
But I wouldn't give
room
to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Oh.
What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No. These will probably be
Honestly,
worse.
I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Okay. So this is taking a weird turn. The narrator is also getting annoyed.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
He's kind of preachy.
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
No.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Skip button?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yeah,
I don't feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort or a... Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer in my... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already
Shut up.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret.
Shut up. So, is he still here? He has to be... He has to... I think he's gone. I've skipped too much. Oh, the battery of the... Is there a... I didn't hear the footsteps before because the narrator was talking too much. You talking to me?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said.
Still talking too much. Um, what am I supposed to do? Can I get out of this? Do I still have to use the skip button?
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never
Oh,
the
it lost
end,
his
is never
marbles.
the end, is never 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 the
Sprung a leak. I don't know. So I think when I push this again, yeah. I think when I push it again. Okay, so now, and there was light, as it said in the Bible. Okay, so this whole building has to come down. Hey man, welcome. What? I'm playing the Stanley Parable, and there's a skip button, but I really don't know how long I've been skipping. There's no more door in this building, so let's see what happens. Okay, so now it's... It's... Well, it is an open world game, but it's also... Oh man. There's kind of a storyline, and when you make choices, the game gets all screwy. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment, but there... Oh, I guess there's a restart. The end is never the end. Okay, I restarted in the office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see, is he going to let me new content? Am I going to... Yeah, I'm going to do
good.
the
You
new
noticed
content.
my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Yeah, the new content was elevators and jumping, and this is the new content. So let's see what they came up with this time.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
Now it
Which
starts.
is why
This game gives me anxiety, and I don't know why exactly, because I haven't seen any enemies or...
Yes, you see? Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
They're kind of
Calling
making
it the Stanley
the
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
They're making fun of the gaming industry.
Try out some of the new features.
In a lot of ways, but the reassurance bucket. Please, no screenshots. Collectibles. Welcome back. Yeah, coming soon is also back. Okay, so I've got a few options, but exit, collectibles, free new and easy trophy. Let's get it here. No, it doesn't look familiar.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever and... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Six figurines to collect? Oh, I haven't seen a figurine yet. So I think we'll have to head back. The part about...
What else? What
oh,
other
there's the
exhibits
fern.
haven't we seen yet?
Is that the fern? No, that's not a fern. Let's go to the place where you shouldn't make screenshots. Oh, the jumping circle is back.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I
Settings
suppose it can
world
just
champion?
be a nice
Oh.
decorative piece, then.
Let's... Ah. World champion on... Oh, that's new? Let's find out what's new then. This game is really... Yeah, this game is trolling
fun,
at every
Yes, it will go at the end
step
of the...
you make. Oh.
Well, we'll figure that out later.
This game is one big troll. Let's do the no screenshots part.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Oh. Okay. The door
actually,
opens.
Maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Exit. There's still one part I haven't been in, I think. Merge. Oh.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
I have no idea.
Let's have you roleplay as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Only in the circle, and I
deep breath,
had
clear your
38
mind,
jumps in the
forget
circle,
whether you are, and simply become
so I
a
can't
person named Jim.
use
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the
jump
backstory.
again.
If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
There's
Imagine yourself
so much
driving
talking
to
in the
work
game.
as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as
I will
Jim,
never look
and
the same
finally
to a
dying a
person
slow
who
death at an old
who's named
age,
Jim
surrounded by
ever
members
again.
of your cult as Jim. Do you feel... All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? Jim. See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead,
Yeah.
I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim button?
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
What's the reinsurance bucket? Let's
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance
there's
Bucket.
the bucket.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do
This
believe
game
the bucket
is
lends you an air of
really
charisma
weird.
as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the
What a
Stanley
weird
Parable
place
2.
for a stool. Okay, so now I have a bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay, so let's see what exit does. There's going to be more trolling by the game. I can feel it.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the collectibles exhibit. You see, there is a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the collectibles. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
I thought I couldn't get in, but apparently there is.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
I got one. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
This game is really weird. So now I can... Why is there a bag over here? No screenshots again. Don't you dare, guys. Don't make screenshots.
What do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh yeah, 36 jumps.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes. Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
There really isn't... Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, the
Stanley
balloons are in
decided to
now.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's the bucket of reassurance.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
It still looks the same.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on it. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I'm
Stanley
not
had
going to
felt
the
the
left
bucket
again.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley
Okay,
took the door
so
on his
in the
left
first place
go
I
back to
went
the
to
meeting room.
this place and then we went down there. So
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
the cargo lift? Why would the cargo lift?
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him,
there's
of
one
course,
of
because
the
buckets can't talk. But Stanley
one of
chose not to
the
think about
trophies
this
or
obvious
the
fact. He was
statues is
firmly
over there.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I think I can't.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Yeah, the guy, the voiceover is loves to hear himself speak, but oh,
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up.
okay.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Where is the bucket though? This might be his home. Can I use the telephone? Let's see. Oh, everything is closed off. Oh, there's the bucket. Oh, it's
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
I'll pick up the bucket again. Okay, we'll go back home then.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it.
It doesn't have to be a liquid.
It doesn't do anything else.
It could also be a solid thing.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Ignore anyone in your life except for me. I can't make a different choice though. So to keep the game moving forward, I have to.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Well, yeah, you're probably
Yes,
real.
I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Jesus, this takes forever.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. The bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong
Romantic
with me? I don't
bucket.
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
Jazz
The bucket
nights.
could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
What is going on, man? Where's the bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't understand it either. We're leaving the bucket this time. Let's see.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Let's see if we
Perhaps he wanted
can
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
get
The
the
lounge was sublime, a work of
figurine.
art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Stanley
Stanley was so bad at
game
following
is pretty
directions,
weird.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah. Okay. I got the figure. I got it all figured out.
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh man. Yeah. 2 out of 6, but I don't think it does anything. What? Oh, okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten.
Stop it.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording.
This game is pretty
It was all
weird.
just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Come on. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Let's see. Last time I went down here, I came into the TV.
But Stanley didn't want to
room.
go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
So he
now in order to
opened
get
this door
back, he needed to
first,
go,
and then that wasn't the right door, he said. And then he opened this one,
From here,
and then he
it's,
opened this.
left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right.
He's
My
doing the
mistake.
same thing.
No, not
So
the
now
right.
he's going to
Why
open
would
this
I
one.
have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this
Okay, so
way.
this is the same as the last time I went this. This was the first thing I did.
No!
And then he said I broke the game.
No, this isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of
So
his co-workers were gone.
the balloons are
What
gone
could
now.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket's gone. I think I've reset the game. Kind of. Yeah.
When
So
Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh.
Yeah.
Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come,
Okay.
Stanley. Let's find the story.
I think... Yeah, I broke the game again. Let's
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Oh,
Well, I
he's
find it
gonna restart the
unlikely
game
that
again.
we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Let's see. So my office is gone.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Oh, it's going to restart again.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
I don't know, guys.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you
This
didn't put
does
in
feel
any actual work
repetitive.
for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right. I've
Yeah,
got a solution.
this is
This
the part
time,
with
to
the
make sure
line.
we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line.
So
How
this
simple
time
is
I'm not
that?
gonna follow the line. Last time I followed the line. And
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
you have to follow the line. Okay. The line.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Oh.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination
Hey.
is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature
Oh,
of
that's
life
where I
itself?
came from.
Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't
Screenshots.
want to miss anything.
Screenshots. I haven't seen the fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
I had to go here. There's still no doors in here, I guess. Okay. This game is really weird. This is... where do I have to go though? Was it... Did I came from here? Oh yeah, that's the fern. Okay, so I have to go here.
Oh,
we're here again.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
400... Yeah, it's going to restart a couple of times.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Let's go.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
It's
What do you want
running
our
in circles
story
again.
to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
The line's back.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
What a strange little game.
Ah, a choice.
Oh yeah, now it
We
wants
get to make a decision.
It wants
From
me to
here,
run
the
in
story is
circles.
in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere the place
there
where
is no
we're trying
choice.
to
It's
go,
kind of like the
there
Matrix.
must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
And we'll see. It's just the same.
Oh,
Okay.
hold up, what's this? The
This is
confusion
the
ending.
confusion ending.
You're
That's
telling
what
me
I started.
That's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Find
It's
the
all
line again. Find the
determined?
confusing ending schedule. That's where
So
we're
now,
at. So
according
there's
to
a
the
fifth,
schedule, I restart
6,
again.
7,
Then
and
what?
8 ending.
Am I
We're
just
only
supposed to
at
forget?
the
Well, what if I
the
don't want
first
to
half.
forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
You don't have a choice, mate.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The,
Nope.
whatever it is that made this schedule?
Nope.
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
There's something going to happen.
So,
Yeah.
okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
So when that sound, oh,
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
okay. So this is different from the last time I had the confusing ending.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
This bucket was only.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. How can we find them? Small phone have appeared across here since us. No memo from management. Cargo room. Who took these pictures of them? "416. Red room? Okay. The cargo room, I have that one. Floaty. 151. Okay, so 416. I have to remember room 416 then. Trust the completionist instinct. Okay. I think this broom closet is... Oh! I didn't think I could open it.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Why is it so focused on the
hand it
bucket,
over.
this game?
Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Here's a red... Yeah, there it is.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. Yeah. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay, so I got 3 of them. And...
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And
no.
Something occurred to Stanley.
This looks
maybe,
the same.
He thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Hey, from Squid Game.
He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
I've just seen the first season of Squid Game, and this game is weirder than Squid Game.
It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
The bucket?
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Welcome back, From Man.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work. Too bad we didn't see it. So, Stanley is gone and now we're Mariella.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, it's one big troll, this game. I'm not taking a bucket this time. Maybe if I... Oh. This is different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go back to the... So, if I haven't been to room 416. That's too bad.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. So
Coming
now I'm
to a
going
staircase,
downstairs.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So I took this one.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
This does feel like
going to lose his job.
a long dream.
He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Where are we going to wake up?
I wish it to be over.
Come on.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
We're still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real.
I had a
Please,
skip button.
Just someone tell me I am real.
Sooner.
I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Again.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ah.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed
Jesus
dead
Christ.
on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few
I hope I'm
brief
not gonna
moments,
dream about
she
this
considered
tonight.
the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
I feel like
And
I'm
in
going
that
crazy.
moment, she thought to herself how
because
lucky
of this
she
game.
was to be normal. I am sane.
Oh man.
I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
There is no
and
skip
by extension,
button.
The rest
Begin the game again. That's the
of
only.
her life. She had no time
Jesus.
for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So I'm going to the boss's. Oh, there's a telephone ringing. Where is it? Oh, is it this one? There it is.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
This was a recorded message. 416. In 416 there was more information about the figurines. I thought. Okay. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
We're
he
going to
entered
the
the
left.
door on his left.
And we're not going down this time, we're going up. Oh. Okay, so there wasn't
Coming to a staircase,
bucket
Stanley
either.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I can't open this one. Okay, so there's a Stanley.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Oh,
what name
Figlies.
better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on
I saw a
it.
picture
I'm
of one
sure it
on
will
the
come
toilet,
to
so
me.
I thought when I saw executive toilet, there should be one. Okay, oh. I haven't been here. Does this work? Oh, it works. What does it do? Okay, so I pushed the button upstairs. So there's still choices. I haven't explored yet. I actually want to find out what happened to the co-workers of Stanley. but oh, what a long. This is probably a really tall building then. My controller vibrates. Come on, open up. So this time I push the button up and come on. I have no idea. We're going up in a elevator. It takes so long. It must be up about 40 floors or something. It takes so long. Oh, so apparently that worked. But what? Okay, and what if I push the down button? It's just some big vibrator elevator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to input anything on the device, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Oh, there's a...
You're getting close now,
Stanley.
You've nearly gotten
Figure,
all of the Figler Anlarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anlarines. None of us can.
Okay. Yeah, 5 out of 6. So I already been here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door.
And the last time I went into the mind control facility. So now I'm going to escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh. That's
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm not dead.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Okay. It stopped.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What?
When every path you can
here.
walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What is going on? Am I... Oh, this is truly the end of the game. Here's the credits. Webmaster Shane Sweeney. End up on the battlefield fighting aliens. Okay. Okay. What is... I don't know what I have to think. I haven't been there. I haven't seen these. So I haven't been there either. There was a button over here. It disappeared. Countdown desk. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, that's where I came from, I think. Is that where I came from? That's my office. I think that's the end part. What is going on?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
I think he finally died. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
There are
What could
balloons,
it
though.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Something about room 416. It just... Where do I find the last figurine?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue. Both red and blue. Somewhere both red and blue.
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So... Somewhere red and blue. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money crisp. Okay. Where have I seen something?
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
And now I'm going too fast. What?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, so again, somewhere... I only need one more of those figurines. I don't think it's down here somewhere, but... Maybe...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So I've done this
The lights
before.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Let's just get through this part quickly.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
So
Their true
my
nature
monitor...
revealed. Each bore the number
we have to
of
look
an
at
employee in the building.
416.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced
That's
to images on a
416.
screen.
There's...
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That's the... Jump down? How do I jump down? I can't jump down. There is no way I can jump down.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I can't jump down.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
Pirates?
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Let's see.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
And I don't really know what this is. But I do know I can go up here. Oh, there should be more of those. Where's button number 4? I think I do have to go through here. Come on, come on. Okay. So last time I pushed power off on this system.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
So
you
now
are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Let's see.
More time to talk about you,
1,
about me, where we're going,
2,
what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that?
3.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you.
I have no idea what's going on.
Rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen.
Oh, there's a door over there.
Every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
No, I have no idea.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
I have no idea
This
what's
is not a
going on.
challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
There is really no point to this game, apparently. The door part, 2 doors.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
Let's
telling
let's
him
see if
that
we
the
can jump
employee
down.
lounge was simply the place to be. And
Okay.
here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good.
Let's see if I can drop
Now
down.
ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need
I'm
you
going
to do.
to try to drop down on this.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him,
Yep.
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So this is the only place I haven't been yet. I think. It seems to be the only place I haven't been yet.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
This game is so weird.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
I regret grabbing the bucket.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Come on.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Asshole.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
It should be.
Correct. This is a bucket.
It is a bucket.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Nope.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Let me leave, please. Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
Yes, you are a bucket.
Myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
No more buckets in the
What
game.
happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket? Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact
Someone
that we haven't got a
took
game.
a lot of drugs
So, tell you
before
what,
he wrote this
I'll reset
game.
everything, and we'll put
This
back
story
all
was
the buckets,
written
okay?
on
And we'll
a
know
massive
that it's
amount of
all
drugs.
a bucket.
There's
But if you run
no
into anyone
other
else, maybe don't mention
explanation.
that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
There we go again. Let's see. So now, she's
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of
Yeah, for real, yeah.
1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
No, the bucket was okay. There's still a bucket, guys. Okay, now
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
so
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm going to try
Stanley was
to
so
drop
bad at
down there
following
again.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Dropping down there is
Look,
definitely
Stanley, I
going
think
to
perhaps
kill me.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I can't
I'm
do
not
it.
your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Yeah.
Someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
Yeah.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want
I
to
do
help
not
you,
have a
to show
bucket,
you
so-
something beautiful.
Red
Let
and
me
blue.
prove it. Let me
Something red and
prove
blue.
that I'm on your
There it
side.
is.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This
Okay.
is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What are we gonna do, guys? Are we walking through the red door or the blue one? Oh, you said blue. Okay, we're going for blue.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, that's the blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Well, no.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ah. Oh. World leaderboard. Oh, that's a complete diss. Oh, they're dissing me.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Yes.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay. A game within a game, guys.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4
so
hours?
You give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
It's pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying. Okay, but it's only going to stop if I let it die, right? Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I hope it's mini golf.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
This game is so weird.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
They hate
find
choices.
Another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful.
This?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
Rocket
Stanley,
League.
if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
This is Rocket League.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
That's, I'm going to be red.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley,
Yeah.
I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Oh.
this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
I
Well,
have
sure
more
hope you're
fun
having
in
a good
this
time, because
than
guess what?
the rest
It's
of the
over.
game.
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say
Oh.
goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Where do I have to go? I'm going inside the hall.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back and say
It wasn't really helping me in the first place, though. What's going on over here? I've already found all the figures, so yeah, the game is bust. Let's see. 424. So we're about to go to 427. That's my room. Yeah, see, there it is. Let's see. It looks different. What a... Yeah, that's what I thought. As if we're going to destroy Vanny. Okay.
I wonder
what's
what he
in here?
found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
I think I
can wait.
I think I made it. The end is never the end, of course. That's the slogan. This is never going to end. Why? Okay. Oh,
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause
This
on
is different.
things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
When Len, I don't like this game at all.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley. And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had
7 out
no
of
faith
6?
in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
I can't go back. I can't fall down.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was over here.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3
This
of them.
game's so stupid.
I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory,
I'm pretty
but I
much
shouldn't be
done.
surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
But oh, there it is.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
I think I'm done with this game. I have no idea what. Yeah, I'm pretty much. It's pretty repetitive, and a lot of stuff is pretty annoying. I wanted to try it out. I thought maybe it would be a fun. Oh,
This was
well,
the
hope
fifth
to see you
mini
next
stand,
time.
and this one was
I'll
really
try to
something
find a
special. It was
different
behind
game.
the
But
boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly
thanks for watching, though.
special to me, I made a little
Hope to see you
video to
soon. Coming
commemorate
soon.
the occasion.
So, that's it. Thank you all for watching. I'm shutting it down. Bye, guys.